I want y'all to see me today. Um, Let me start off by saying the reason why I got so invested in this Dahomey kingdom, the woman king, was not intentional at all. If you go back through my posts, you'll see, how it unfolded. And the truth of the matter is, I'm looking at the trailer and I'm hyped, just like everybody. I'm hyped about this movie. I want to see it. I see black women, they look strong. I love bigging up women and black women. You know what I'm saying? That's my jam. That's what I do. You know what I'm saying? That's who I am. And I got a real tight connection with the Most High. That divine is within me. My higher and my lower self, I'm well connected, right? And I'm well aware when that voice speaks to me. So just me minding my business, I was getting all hyped about the movie. That voice said, I need you to dig deeper. And being obedient, I'm like, all right. I'm gonna do my research. In doing my research, I had no idea what I was about to embark upon. I had no idea that I was going to learn the things that I learned, right? So now I'm conflicted with all of this information. Being a black woman, trying to protect my ego, trying to listen to my lower self. Because my lower self and my higher self, they're always having a dialogue. And my higher self, I know, is the godliness within me. So that's what I'm going to listen to, right? So I'm conflicted, though, because I'm learning all of this horrible information about what these black women did. And me as a black woman, should I say something about this? Should I try to protect, my ego and all of this stuff? Again, that voice says, tell the truth. I'm like, okay, that's what we're doing. We're telling the truth. So all of those videos that you see of me doing the research about the Dahomey Amazon, go down my timeline. That is me listening to the divine in me, the God in me, my higher self. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna tell the truth. And me, I'm just speaking about me. I'm a person that does the internal work on myself to make myself better. You understand what I'm saying? I'm always doing that work. I'm always going to look at myself, and I'm always going to choose to follow the voice of my higher self, the God in me. I'm going to listen to God. You know what I'm saying? And so this was a journey of me at battle with my lower self and my higher self, with me succumbing to my ego, with me listening to the godliness in me. And I chose to follow my higher self, the God in me. And I said, you know what? I'm going to just tell the truth. I'm going to tell the truth. And you know what? At the end of the day, I might be the only one on this island that's going to tell the truth. But this is what I stand in. I stand in truth. I stand in righteousness. And to the day I die, that's what it's going to be. That's what it's going to be. My integrity is everything, and I stand on it, and I'm gonna always stand on it. So that is why I was so heavily involved with this story. So let's get into it. Yes, I saw the movie Thursday. I was invited out to see the movie. And me seeing the movie was a part of this whole process that I was going through. My whole growth, my whole evolution to see what I'm going to do, right? So that voice again said, follow all the way through. You done did the research, go see the movie, right? I'm like, okay, I'm going to see the movie. And not only when you see the movie, you need to tell the people, continue to speak the truth about the movie, and then let that be it. Mission accomplished. I said, okay, all right. So let me gather myself after seeing the movie. I know everybody's emotions are high. You know, I had already predicted this, the sensationalism, everybody feeling good, the romanticism. You know what I'm saying? All of that shit. Emotions. I, at the time, was taking care of some personal things with my family, but I would have taken a step back anyway, because I know how emotions can, they can cloud your vision of telling the truth. So I had to remove myself away, because what I'm saying right now, what I'm about to say, has nothing to do with my emotions, my feelings. Is purely facts, okay? So if you want to argue with me, argue with the facts. Go do your research. But everything that I'm saying to you can be confirmed as fact. I'm not making this up because I have an agenda. My only agenda is to tell the truth. That's it. So here we go, y'all. In the movie, the whole entire movie takes place during the Dahomey and the Oyo, when they were at war with each other, right? Now, I want you to consider something. King Gizo's reign started in 1818. It ended in 1858, 1859, somewhere around there. So you're looking at 40 years that this man is in reign. He has the throne, right? When that movie took place, it was in 1823, when they overthrew and they were liberated from the Oyo. That was only 5 years into his reign. Okay? 5 years. And let me tell you how he came about to be king. He overthrew his brother. His brother was the king. He, along with a Brazilian slave trader, illegally overthrew his brother out of the throne. And that's how he was able to get the kingship. And you know what? It doesn't really say what happened to his brother. I wouldn't be surprised if he sold his brother, but you never hear about what happened to his brother after that. And so I'm setting this up because I want y'all to see the bigger picture. So this old man, by the help of a colonizer, overthrew his own brother, right? So they shaping this movie to look like, oh, he had some kind of compassion for other Africans. He didn't even have any loyalty to his own bloodline. So what makes you think he's gonna have some kind of compassion for people that, even though they look like him, he was profiting for? He didn't have no compassion. Let me get back to it. So 1823 is when they liberated themselves from the Oyo. So that's like 5 years into his reign. That means there's like 35 more years left, right? Right. During that time, the Dahomey kingdom, they became what the Oyo were to them, oppressors, but they became them on steroids. They went ham. They went ham. Matter of fact, after is where the movie ends, is when they began to go ham. They went even harder, raiding other kingdoms and tribes for slaves, for money, for profit, human sacrificing hundreds to thousands of other Africans for their rituals. Nobody want to talk about that, though. Nobody want to talk about that. Just stuck on the slavery part and want to brush over it like it's okay, you know. So anyway, they got 35 more years to go. And during this time, they doing the most. They are doing the most. The most worst, horrible things that you can do to another human being. And this character in the movie, Namiska, probably saying the name wrong, but it's the character that Viola Davis plays. It's purely made up. is fictional. She was not real. They got the name from an account of a colonizer actually witnessing one of the Dahomey Amazons at the age of like 16. She beheads a captive, takes the blood from the sword or the machete, and she swallows it. And all the Dahomey Amazons is like, yeah, yeah, yeah. They're rejoicing. That is where the name came from, right? So this is what y'all rejoicing. This is what y'all celebrating. And so her character was purely fictional. That was Hollywood. That was Hollywood. The Dahomey Kingdom, they have no sympathy. They had no remorse about what they were doing. They never considered that what they was doing was immoral and wrong. Let me tell you, the whole palm oil thing come about because around the end of Gizo's reign, somewhere around 1852, the British was putting pressure on them, like putting up blockades and stuff like that, because they had passed the English Abolition Act in 1807, but they really started to push it and enforce it, right? They really wasn't enforcing it, but they started to put the pressure, on the Dahomey. So they were setting up blockades and stuff like that. So the king was like, okay, shoot, they blocking our bag. Our biggest bag is selling our brothers and sisters. So we got to do something else. That is where the palm oil came in from, doing something else to make up for the money that they was losing selling enslaved Africans, right? And white people, don't try to make yourself look like the damn hero in this movie, because in this whole situation in history, because the British were involved in the slave trade from 1614 to like 1807, right? So almost 200 years, the British had been participating in the slave trade, have transported 3 million slaves to North America, South America, the Caribbeans, profited greatly off the slave trade. So don't try to make this like y'all the heroes that came in and tried to save the day. This was after y'all had partaken and profited greatly off of the slave trade, to where you had abolitionists that were fighting for like 20 years to say, hey, this, y'all got to do something about this. And so they created these blockades, and that started to block the Dahomey's money. So they had to come up with another way to make money. So this whole scene about, we feel some kind of way about selling our brothers, that shit is false. It never happened. These people never had any remorse. They never even cared. They never cared about anything but profit, gain, and power. And this is what y'all celebrating. If you cool with that, that's something that you got to deal with yourself. But me, as a person I'm going to stand for something. I'm going to stand for something. Like they say, if you don't stand for something, you're going to fall for anything. And I'm not falling for it. I don't celebrate. I will never glorify these women, and I don't support this movie because it's a blatant lie. It's a lie. So y'all go out of the movie only hearing part of the story, and the story that you hear is false. It's a lie. It's a lie. And everything that I'm saying is not from my emotions. This is not from my feelings. These are facts. These are facts that you can go look up yourself. That's all I have to say about the Woman King, the Dahomey Amazons, because this whole journey have been exhausting mentally. It have been exhausting, kind of spiritually, just going through this whole thing. But I'm going to always stand in truth. And no matter who likes it, what you have to say about it, you want to argue with the facts, argue with the truth. And that's the truth of the matter. Y'all sitting here celebrating these people, and at the end of the day, I don't care what it looks like. It could be purple, green, white, brown like me, because I'm conflicted because the women at the beginning look like me. What the hell should I do with this? But at the end of the day, I got to stand for righteousness, whatever it looks like. So if somebody is doing something that's not cool, not righteous, I'm not standing for it just because they look like me. I'm not doing that. That's not how my soul is set up. So that's all I'm gonna say about it. That's all I'm gonna say about it. Peace, y'all.